Hello everyone, my name is Thomas Sawyer. Making sure we got a good picture here. We got sunlight coming in and out. So today we're going to be talking about past lifetimes, how they're affecting you now, and my own personal stories. I'm trying to make sure I can get this where it can be seen. Okay. So lately, a lot of you guys and gals are feeling intense energetic shifts. Now, what do I mean by energetic shifts? Energy of the earth is amplifying. We're starting to remember our past lifetimes and things we used to do in this lifetime. And we're starting to play out things that we did in other lifetimes. I'm trying to get the light right on this. We're playing out things we did in other lifetimes. And you're having interactions with people right now. And you're getting triggered sometimes. Let's be real. And a lot of this is coming from other lifetimes. So it's a karmic thing. We do things in lifetimes, and sometimes we have to play that same scenario out in a different way, or there's past karma. I can give you an example. There was a female that I used to be in love with many years ago. And in another lifetime, in a village, I was like the wizard. She was a sorceress. She cheated on me in this lifetime. So in my soul contract, we're supposed to balance this karma. I may have to move this screen because the light just keeps going different ways with the sun. And the thing is that in that lifetime, I had to kill her because she cheated on me. This was like 1,000 years ago, maybe like 4. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the timeline on it, but I know about it. So in this lifetime, she did the exact same thing, and the point was not to kill her. And so I didn't kill her. So the karma has been restored on some level. I still have to probably help her in the future. I'm trying to get the light right on this. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that, guys. It's going to go in and out, I guess. We just got to deal with it. So, lately, I've been seeing my past lifetimes. Now, I've seen quite a few on the spiritual journey. You guys are starting to see them too. And you're not really sure what's going on. You're not really sure why things are happening the way they're happening. There was a time in Atlantis. I'm going to have to move this camera. My God. Hold on. Move the camera over to here. A little shady. Okay, there we go. Do it like that. So, just talking about Atlantis. I remember a past lifetime from Atlantis where I was a high priest of Atlantis. And that doesn't make me special. Many of you have been many important things in your lifetimes and other things such as that. And I was there when the destruction of Atlantis happened. Many people I know in this lifetime have been, and please share out if you're coming into this feed. Many people have been in this lifetime as well that I know, because we have this way of things continuing to come back. Even the earth, as it's happening right now, is a repeat of many other times in history. Atlantis brought in a new age. An age where things were different. We brought in new energy, such as what Jesus did. I know Jesus is a controversial topic, and I'm sorry for that. But it's a reality. He came in to bring the age of Pisces. Maybe to prevent mass consciousness from occurring until now, as well as many other things. And the thing is that in these lifetimes, even with Atlantis, it started out as a pure society where something was amazing that was happening. They were building something brand new. But over time, Atlantis got a little thrown on their power, so they got bigger and bigger, and they wanted more, and they wanted more, and they wanted more in Atlantis. So Atlantis saw that a cataclysm was coming. It could have been the flood. It's been talked about so many times. It could have been the flood. And it destroyed Atlantis. I mean, the flood mythos has existed in like 1,200 cultures. They have histories of this flood mythos happening. The Native Americans, the Chinese, Australia, all these different cultures all have, the Mayans, they all have histories of this flood. It did happen. The Bible, they all have different histories. The thing is that it got to a point where they tried to save Atlantis, but they couldn't save Atlantis. So it came down to a few people who was going to save Atlantis and what they were going to save. And some people wanted to save the people of Atlantis, even though this may not have been as easy as it looked to the people that were playing, but they were on a time crunch about what they could do and where they could go into Atlantis. You could save the knowledge of Atlantis. You could save the people of Atlantis. There had to be a hard call made. And where this goes with current society is the same thing. Is that there's the very nature, and I've said this so many times, but the very perceptions we have of spirituality are starting to shift. They're putting it in movies right now. They're putting it in TV shows. So everyone's a channel. Channel energy, like this. You can feel that. Why do you can feel that? So, I channel vocally. We all channel. So even a screenwriter channels. They may not know they're channeling, but they're channeling. Everyone that's doing anything is channeling. It's just part of the picture. And it's how things work. So even if you look at a movie like Cruella, for instance, there's some people that don't like this movie, there's some people that love this movie, but it's talking about how things are changing. There's coming into a new understanding of spirituality, the dark and the light. Because you can't have one without the other. Even internally, you can't have light without dark. And if the yin, being light, represents the masculine, and the yang, being dark, represents the feminine, and this goes on so many different levels. So many different levels. It's so hard to pin it down to try to explain this in a live. I'm going to have to do it on a whiteboard and all kinds of different ways of trying to explain it. And it's not, dark is not always evil. Light is not always good. Humans have made these ideas of what's good and what's not good. Right and wrong, left and right. Everything has to be one or the other. And in this lifetime, there's going to have to be hard decisions made. We're feeling what's happening with the world right now. We're feeling what's happening with the general consensus of things around us. There's going to be people stepping out that came out in Atlantis, that came out in Egypt, that came out in the Palladians, that came out in different empires. And I'm going to get into the alien stuff because it all connects. It all connects. And they're going to be different than what we're used to, because for so long we've wanted to stay in this context of love and light. And what does love and light mean? You can't have light without the dark. And what I mean by that is, whatever's inside of you, you're feeling this energy. You're feeling this energy inside of you. And it's yearning to get out. And I'm coming in masculine, I apologize. Well, I don't apologize, whatever. But that's me. So ground me, angels. No, you guys need some healing too, so please share this out if this does help you. And here we go. Light. Tap me into the energy of the goddess Sophia. Metatron, Uriel, Sandalphon, Andromeda, every past lifetime you've had, you can tap into that energy and do that again. You may change the energy. You may change the very foundations of how you're seeing things. But right now, we're all feeling inside of us this pain, and we're feeling off balance. I talk so much about energy, but I don't explain what that word means, and it's so hard to make it into a logical perspective. We're being bombarded because we're ascending. We're connecting more into our higher selves. Our higher selves, if you look at it like this, it's like a connection that's already into Source, Universe, God. And we have 90% free will, so before we had like 10% free will. Carolyn, if you'd like to know about that, I would message me so you can make an appointment, because I can't do that right now. And so on these other planets, Pleiades, Andromeda, Lyria, trying to think of other ones. There's a lot of them. Where the Minotaur come from. They've gone through exactly what we're going through right now. People are going to get so powerful. It's a scary thought to me. People are going to become so powerful with the energies that are coming in. The question I have, are they going to be balanced enough to handle it? We look at Reiki, we look at different modalities of healing, and they're still going to work. But everything that you're doing now is becoming twice as powerful. So if you're a healer or you're a channel, it's becoming twice as powerful. It's the energy. And we're tapping into this energy now. We're tapping into the very quantum field around us in a way that we haven't experienced in so long. And it's scary for a lot of us, because it's bringing out what we're hiding inside of us. And I can speak from my own personal experience. This is hard. I mean, this is hard. I have to keep continuously doing work on myself, and I was kind of stuck there for like 10 months in a holding pattern where I didn't want to do much except what I always did as a healer and a channel, and now it's expanding into something else. The more spiritual work I do, the more I can tap in other abilities that I had when I was a pharaoh in Egypt, or when I helped train Jesus with the Essenes. We've all had these lifetimes, and we're starting to remember this. My guide's talking to me. The professor. Anyways, so the professor's saying, explain the Jesus past lifetime. Now here's the thing I want to say before I go into this, because I know this will trigger some people, and it's okay. Sometimes the only way to heal is to be triggered. See, I'm releasing, coughing. So, the Essenes would put aside two virgin vessels. They're an ancient Jewish sect. They knew that what they believed was the Messiah was going to come through a virgin vessel. And the thing was about this is that they would put every generation 2 people aside to bring in the Messiah. They didn't know when it was coming, but I'm pretty sure they had a good idea. I remember this past lifetime. I remember seeing Jesus as a teenager. So he was born into a virgin vessel. Debatable by a lot of people. That's cool. I get it. And all of a sudden, he has all this immense power. He was trained in India. I mean, if we look at the lost Gospels, they're missing like 200 of them in the Bible. Some are forgeries, some are not. And trained in India, trained in Tibet. Because they knew who he was, they could see his light. And in some of those Gospels, he may have done some things that a person with great power that doesn't have it controlled, or is a child or a teenager, wouldn't know how to do with that power. There's stories in the books of the Christ child, 1, 2, and 3. There's one in particular, but I'm not getting into that. But when he was a teenager, I remember being like the head of the Essene order. And I was an old man. And we were training him. It's just a flash of a vision. But it's becoming more into focus. Regardless of what people think, Edgar Casey said this, is that the Christ soul has directly or indirectly influenced every religion that has taught oneness with God, starting with the law of one in Atlantis and ending with a cross. The next incarnation of the Christ soul will be to bring in the kingdom of David. So, Jesus was so many people. And if you don't know who Edgar Casey is, look him up, because there's about 4,000 books written on his trance channel. He read for Nikola Tesla, Henry Ford, all these people. Supposedly 2 U.S. presidents. Houdini couldn't disprove them, and he disproved everybody. It was proven that he met with him. He never wrote about it because he couldn't disprove them. He'd just go into a trance and tell you everything, medical histories. He'd have more information than doctors. Point is, this soul went around over and over, influencing every religion in different incarnations. And he was already a master before he became Jesus. He was already a master. And to take that kind of responsibility to come into the human collective and work with other ascended beings that were in human form, that had to relearn everything. Some of it was intuitive knowing. It was pure claircognizance. They already knew who they were on some level, but it took time for them to remember. They had to be fast-tracked spiritually. They had to be fast-tracked in so many different ways. So the problem is, Jesus, Muhammad, Hindu religion, it's not the people that these gods or people they said were gods ruined the religions. It was the people in the religions that ruined the religions. Because they thought they could speak for God. The ones that took it, if you go back and look at Christianity or any of these other religions, how they started out was just like Atlantis. It started out with a pure movement. Over time, it got just thrown a different way. So how does this all connect? All these civilizations, the Palladians, the Lyrians, the Andromedans, the Minotaur, the Greys, the Nordics, not the Nordic people, but the actual Nordic alien civilizations. They've all gone through this cycle. The Lemurians. It's a whole nother topic. They were right next to Atlantis. They all had to go through this. There came a point where great power came into the human collective. And when this happened, some people were extremely dark, and some people were extremely light, and some people were balanced in between the two. They were actually balanced. And I guess me doing these lives, this is kind of, as I evolve spiritually, and I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years, I see more. And that's the point of it. I see more of this. And as we grow in power, because these beings are making themselves known to us, and there's so many other beings out there. We have watchers. I mean, they're watching me right now, over here. We have watchers. We talked about in the book of Enoch, I don't know if they're correct about the watchers in there, because I haven't read that book in a long time. But they're watching me right now. And they're watching some of you as well. There's other alien races that are working with humanity at this very time that are watching you and what you're doing spiritually. And you may not think it's a big thing, but to them it is. I was told by one of my mentors, or one of my friends, whatever, they're like, what you're doing with energy is something we haven't seen on Earth in a long time. Like, you've got a lot of alien races watching you. But my point is, by telling you these stories, I'm telling you that they're watching you as well. These are all connected. There's extraterrestrial species that work for the higher aspects of God, and they work for the lower aspects of God. Now, we want to say heaven and the other word, but I'm not going to say that word out loud. So, I was looking at a comment, laughing. So, it is what it is. It just is what it is. They're watching us. Some of them are helping us. We can connect into ascended masters. They will let us do this. They will help us with the energy. They will help us connect into the energies that we're doing right now. There's alien races that when I do a healing, I call in the Andromedans sometimes, and I'm doing it right now. Look at that. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So, we call in Lemurians, Palladians, Andromedans, Minotaur, and there's also collectives out there of beings. This is a whole nother thing. We'll get into that later. Let's call in that collective I know about. Don't want to call their name. That I know about. And then they heal. I don't even need to hold out my hand. They're doing it for me. It's a lot of energy. Shit. Thank you. We're going to stop that. So, they just want to be seen, because some of you can see these energies or feel them around me. And it triggers some people. I get it. And I'm sorry for that. And I'm not sorry for that at the same time. It is what it is. I'm asking a question to my God. Yeah, okay. Call in more. Okay. Minotaur, Ganesh, Shiva, Jesus, Mary, Green Man, who else? Let's call in Mother Gaia. Let's call in the energy of the trees. That's enough. Okay. There. Energy. You can feel that. Now, if you do appreciate this healing, I will say this. Donation button up there. Donate $1. Whatever you feel is necessary. We do have this law of energetic exchange. So, this is important for the people who are going to be doing spiritual work in the future. Because we've lived in this paradigm of believing that what a spiritual person is doing, this comes from past lifetimes. You know, in the past, you would have a healer in a village and they would be ostracized. But as soon as something happened to someone, they'd be sending them over there. And say they couldn't make the weather change for whatever reason, then all of a sudden, they get killed for it because they couldn't control the weather. They could heal people, but they couldn't control the weather. They thought that person was their extension to God, everyone's extension to God, when they didn't realize they were already their extension to God's source universe. They're doing healing. We got Jesus especially doing healing. Mary Magdalene. So, all these beings have been through these cycles. They've incarnated into human bodies. They've incarnated into Palladians and Andromedans. Stop it. Thank you. So they stop healing. And I know this is a lot to take in. Well, yeah, as Jared said, many Native Americans, shamans, accept tobacco as an equal exchange. Even if they don't smoke, the idea is that they can offer this as a gift and thanks to the spirit of nature. So I'm doing a house clearing, for instance, and I'm outside and I'm very good at getting rid of very negative things. Something I'm very good at. And so I do the inside of the house, clear all this energy up. I clear all this. I'm saying we, because I'm talking for all the beings around me. We clear all this energy up. And then I have to go outside, and there's Native Americans and Civil War soldiers everywhere, okay? And Civil War soldiers wanted to pass on. So I open a portal, and they go through this portal. Now, what is a portal? It's an energetic doorway. All of you can do this. It's just tapping into the energy that you can do this. Now, the Native Americans, some of them weren't very happy I was there. So I had to bring out tobacco. I had to make offerings. The Native Americans told me, okay, some of us want to stay here. Some of us want to go. Now these are ghosts. Okay? They're spirits. It's energy. Energy never dies. It continuously moves. And so some of them went and crossed over. Some of them stayed. It's up to them. They have free will to do whatever they want to do. Now, I could go deeper into this explanation, but I feel this will be a YouTube video. Anyways, I'm going to have to break it down over and over again. The best of how I can explain it. And that's the thing, is that a lot of people watching this feed, you can do this as well. You can do this energy work. It's a question of doing it. You know, when I first started healing, I noticed that I was getting negative entity cases. I was healing with a friend of mine. I noticed I was getting negative entity cases. And it kept happening. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy. Freaked me out. I'd like run to my mentor and be like, what is going on here, man? I'm seeing some crazy stuff here. It's freaking me out. But this is what I was called to do with this form of healing. It's why a lot of other workers send people to me that they can't deal with certain things that are going on with that person. But I can, because I've dealt with these energies for so long, in so many lifetimes, that I'm not afraid of the darkness. We are spirits in human bodies. We are more powerful than any darkness that is out there. And what I mean by that is negative entities and parasites, and clear all that energy, light. We're more powerful. One day I'll do a video on negative energies on YouTube, because I got to write it all out and plan it. And that's the next step anyways, is YouTube. My guides have been getting onto me for this for a year. They're like, why don't you just make videos on YouTube? So it'll happen very soon. I'm just getting my ducks in a row. Been doing it for a while, but yeah, maybe I was a little too lazy. But that's about to change. So the point is that any of us can do this work. We have to be willing to do this work. We have to be willing to try. So I have armies of people I can talk to if I need help. I have a teacher, I have another mentor, I have other workers that I talk about on my live sometimes or pop in, and they help me with this work as well, because you can't do this all on your own all the time. Especially if you're going to like a historic site, you're trying to do something. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on, and everyone's ability is different. It's kind of like the Avengers, because I talked about this earlier, that they're putting spiritual meanings in different movies and TV shows. So each Avenger has a different thing they can do, but together they're more powerful than apart. Like when they took on Thanos. If you've seen that movie, there's spiritual implications in that movie. There's spiritual knowledge in Cruella. There's spiritual knowledge in the new TV show Loki. They're putting all this stuff right in front of our face so we can see it. Sorry, I was making a shield around me. They're putting spiritual information in these TV shows so we can see it, and it might not be the exact literal meaning, but it's enough to make us remember what we're capable of. This is right, Jared's saying it again, Frozen 2 has so much in it. I haven't seen Frozen, I'm not a big fan of Disney animated movies, but that's just me. But Maleficent 1 and 2 has a lot in there too. These movies are not being made for no reason. They're being made to show us what's about to happen on different levels and to download information into us. So just like we're so afraid of things that are happening in the world right now, yes, there are agents of darkness that have infiltrated all kinds of things. There's agents of light that have infiltrated all these things too. So don't lose hope. Everything's going to work itself out. It's just a matter of time here. It's up to the people that step out into the forefront and wish to be seen what's going to happen and how humanity is going to evolve. Something that was said to me, and this isn't egotistical, it's like, Thomas, you're kind of an outlier. You don't fit into normal structures of things. When you do spiritual work, or even you as a whole, you don't fit into the normal things. And I feel like for a long time I tried to, but I can't do that anymore. I just can't do it. I can't fucking do it. And because the very spiritual way that we see things are going to change. What happens when you have your own internal traumas and everything that's going on inside of you balanced inside of your heart chakra, and you are beaming light at an exponential rate, and everywhere you go, this light, if you choose it to, or your higher self does, every time it goes through, it just cleanses. There's times I've walked through the park with other workers that are my friends, and we are clearing stuff and we don't even have an idea we're doing it. I worked in pest control and I was doing this. My teacher said it was the greatest cosmic joke she ever heard, that I was killing parasites in the 3D and also doing it in the spiritual, but not realizing I was doing it in the spiritual. These customers were calling me back over and over again sometimes to clear their house because their higher selves and their guides were talking to my guides, and I had to say, listen, this is getting crazy because I ain't getting paid to come back to this person's house. So, it needs to stop. And within like a week or two, I had the lowest callback percentage out of anyone, because I told the universe, I told God, I told Source, this needs to end. And it ended. Because it's my energy. And it stressed me out, because I had to keep going back and I get paid for it, for things that were out of my control. And that's the thing. It's why some of you are watching me. It's why some of you are watching other people. And it's why a lot of you are struggling, because you're like, why? Where am I at? What do I need to do? What's the next step? Let's look at a comment from Fiona. This is the thing, is that there's other people that can see me right now. They can see my energy on some level. They perceive it. Because for a while there, maybe I was smoking way too much pot. Yeah, I quit. It's been like 4 days, 5 days, I don't know, lost count. And it isn't pleasant, but many of you that are watching can see right now that I am not the same as I was then. I'm not saying what you should or shouldn't do. It's not up to me. Man, I was eating and smoking for a year, but I'm much more powerful now. And I'm much more in line with myself. There's a thing about, it's like, it's going to trigger people, apologize, the veganism versus the meat. Okay? Now here's the thing. I've been eating about 80% meat lately. The energy is so intense around us that I need to ground myself. And one way I do that is by eating meat, plus my blood type demands it. So I eat a lot of meat. And that's the thing, is I bless the food. I thank it for its offering. Any animal that you eat, you raise in consciousness. So when it reincarnates, it comes back as something bigger. And we're told over and over again that we have to do things a certain way. And I'm not attacking vegans or anything. I'm not doing any of that. Shield again. I'm not doing any of that. It's up to you what you want to do. I can tell you in the spiritual scene that I've seen this too many times. As Steph said, I've been hungry for more meat lately myself. Exactly. I've been like going crazy for meat. I'm like, what is going on with me? Just keep eating steaks and chicken and whatever. Half time I don't even want to eat. All I want to eat is meat, like vegetables. Next thing be nuts and dried fruit with that. So whatever. Point is, go with what you feel. Don't go with what everyone else is telling you to do. Because people are all going to have ideas based on what the old energy signature is. And this is the old. But now we step in. And we change the very concept of spirituality. The very concepts of spirituality start to change. Jesus was crucified for this and many other reasons. We don't have to be martyrs anymore. Too many of us have died in past lifetimes. Over and over again. Well, Fiona, as I said, if you're a vegetarian, that's totally cool. I don't have any problem with that. It's going to work for you, but it just doesn't work for me. You know, it's not an attack or anything. It just is what it is. So what I'm getting at, sorry, is I want people to understand I'm not attacking. Sometimes I come off a little too strong. And I like to trigger people sometimes in these lives. I don't really act like this all the time at all. Anyways, like maybe half the time, I don't know. The other half the time I don't say anything. I just sit there and I'm all introverted. So it's whatever works for you. But the very foundations of what we believe and what we're doing are going to shift. As it did when Jesus came in. As it did when Atlantis came in. As it did before that. It's happened so many times. We go in cycles through this earth over and over and over again. The extraterrestrials, even the ones that work against God and the ones that work with God, they're all kind of playing a game with us right now. Because we're evolving at such a fast pace, the human collective, that they're watching us like we're a movie. And they're all around us. The government knows there's UFOs. We're about to have this big disclosure event, I believe. Maybe they might, I don't want to get into that. But maybe they may do something crazy. I don't know. People don't realize that God's in everything. Source, universe. So I'm not close enough to like show you, but I'm going to try to. So God is in these rocks. God's in the selenite crystal. God's in you. God's in the tree. God's in the fence. God's in that house. God's everywhere. And God, most importantly, is connected with you. This is what's important. It is important to go to places because it was a couple days ago and I was just getting off the pot, so my brain was still a little scrambled. And you know, whatever people do is their own business. Don't be mad at me, please. Is that someone was attacking me? Someone, I knew who it was. Point is that I had to go in a Catholic church, and which I'm cool with because I like Catholic churches. I don't really stay for the service, but I go in the back room where they do the prayers, and no one's there. And I sat in there, and all of a sudden my guide was like, now the attack stopped. It was like an initiation of sorts. Now here's the thing too that's going to happen, because we have these preconceived ideas about things. You better be prepared that certain institutions may try to destroy religion. You may not agree with those religions, and that's cool. I get it. I get it. Because people have ruined the religions. Okay? It's not the people that made the religions, it's the people that are, not all of them, but some of them that are in them are using them for their own means. And it's crazy. I'm sorry, it's nuts. It's just crazy to me. Divine rebels. I'm being reminded of this. Who's willing to step out and actually be a divine rebel to change what's happening? You may be doing it with your energy. You may be doing it with how you see things. You know, it's the problem with these platforms is that people post stuff, and I get it. I get why they do it. I'm not saying that's wrong. But it doesn't do a lot of change. It just creates fighting. And right now everyone wants to fight with each other. I get it, man. Flick off people in my car all the time because they're doing crazy shit while they're driving around me. And then they don't want to mess with me when they look at me. Anyways, because they see my energy or they see something. I don't know. I'm not afraid of them either. So I'm like, whatever. I know I'm protected. So I'm like, whatever. Spiritually. Took martial arts for a long time. This isn't a battle thing I'm going into. I apologize. People are angry, so they want to let out that rage, and they're sad, and they want to let out this energy. They want to let it out. They want to let it out instead of dealing with what's going on inside of them. They want to work instead of dealing with what's going on inside. This is craziness. I'm sorry, it's craziness. It's craziness. Thank you. Yes, as Jared said, in a men's group, and they're always asking, what are you fighting? It really should be, what are you succeeding over? If anything, you should be looking for people to succeed. I posted something last night. It's from a guy who is called Mind Smash. Talks about MMA and then consciousness all together. It's Mind Smash on YouTube. He was talking about how people succeed. And when they succeed, a lot of people that were there when before they succeeded don't want to see them succeed because they're jealous. Now I say if you're envious for whatever reason, which you shouldn't be, but I get it, we're humans, it's part of the plan, is that let that envy drive you to do it too. I look at these people like Jordan Peterson and Tony Robbins, and I know people have their opinions about them, but they help change people's lives. And some of these people are ascended beings in human bodies, and they may not even know it, because a lot of people don't. And that's a whole nother discussion for a life. They help change your life because they make you confront the things that you're thinking that maybe you don't realize are maybe not the way, what's coming into your subconscious, into your conscious mind, are not the way that you want to be. You can change this. I mean, they're doing this at hospitals right now. That they're going into the brain and activating different parts. They're doing injections with, it's like ATP or something, and it goes in and it rewires your brain. They're about to do stem cell injections. That's getting approved. That's going to change the game too. Science is catching up with spirituality. When they meet, this is going to be beautiful. And as Steph said, let it drive us towards higher paths. If you see someone succeeding, ask and study what they're doing, because it's going to help you do it. That's what's important here. It's going to help you succeed. You can become something more. Now, I want to say this, and I had to wait for a while. A lot of you are having issues right now. You're feeling out of balance. I'm a healer, a channel. I do multiple things spiritually. I can help you with this. Recalibration of energy, or maybe you need something removed. Many people watching are my clients right now. Or clients of people I know. So, or friends with, my teacher, whatever. So, I can help you. You can send a message to me. It's angelicsupportagent.net. It's above. Or you can send me a message on Messenger. Either way, schedule me. $95, 1 hour video messenger session. You're not going to regret it, trust me. But it's up to you what you do. Not up to me. It's up to you. So, anyways, moving on. That's my shameless plug. And thing is that, and reshield, man. Andromeda, Larian, Shiva, Diamond template, Golden template. Yeah, that's good. We need another? Okay. Emerald template. There we go. Okay. Moving on. So, the reason, Patricia, you're getting goosebumps, and we talked last night, is that I'm speaking truth, and for so long I didn't want to speak things. I was afraid to. It's like I have to be like everyone else. Ugh. I don't know what I was thinking. I've been saying this for days. I'm like, what on earth was I thinking? This is just craziness. What on earth was I thinking? I saw a live I did 2 years ago, and I'm like, I didn't care about anything I said. So I'm just going to speak the truth. It's my truth. You need to speak your truth. But sometimes you have to understand, too, when you're speaking your truth, you need to speak it in a way that's not going to trigger everybody. You got to try to... It's like I use this analogy with a friend. If I were to put my hand into a snake hole of copperhead, venomous rattlesnakes, what I want those snakes to think it's a hand or a snake. I want them to think it's a snake. Because then you can get in there and really do what you need to do. But if you're coming in as a blunt force object, that's a whole different scenario. Okay, as Kamara said, I may have said you're name wrong. I apologize, dear. I saw your face with different features, Thomas. Maybe one of your guides. I'm shifting. Glad someone's seeing it again. Okay. So I'm shifting into different versions of myself. I saw this with another worker recently. So different parts of my lifetimes are shifting through me as I'm talking. And different masters are talking through me as I'm channeling. Just like when someone writes a screenplay, or when someone writes anything, or they make a movie, or they make art, or they dig a garden, or whatever. They're channeling, they're channeling, they're channeling. We have to destroy the belief systems of what we've come in to believe things are. There's so much you can do. People don't realize how powerful they are. I've been in lives, and people that are in this lives, sometimes, I'm not going after any clients, people that donate or anything. I know there's people watching in the background. I've said this before. I don't want to look like a victim, whatever. People that have literally thrown bombs into my auric field to try to make me sick or to mess with my mind. Not going to work anymore. Not declaring war. Don't care. I have enough protection. Point is that we put a boom. So you're speaking truth to trigger people, especially when it's on a live like this. It boggles me. It's like someone's watching a Netflix show and they're binging it. They know they need to stop at episode 2, but they go all the way to 10. And then they can't sleep the next day. And it's like, okay, why'd you watch it? I'm referencing to people watching me that maybe don't like what I say. They sense the light that's around me. And they want to tune in. They don't know why. They're like, this guy triggers me. Why am I watching him? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. But point is that this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't know. A lot more Thomas is supposed to do as well. Yes, there is. And he will. The question is, be yourself. That's the answer. Be yourself. I'm just looking at comments. Okay. Energize and activate all shields. I wasn't declaring war. Whoever the people are that got mad. Whatever. Just blah. Anyways. Okay. Did we get that? Yes. Thank you. So, reground. Okay. Because when I actually bring this up, it's going to trigger some of those people that never say a word, don't like what I'm saying. You don't live by man's laws, you live by universal truth. It's like when I'm in a park and I throw litter on the ground. And I pick it up and I put it in the trash can. Okay, but the point is that that's more of maybe a universal law. I don't know, but I'm trying to give a better example than what I was going to first give. There's a lot of laws that are man's laws, and there's a lot of laws that are God's laws. That's my point. So, if you like what I'm saying, any of this energy has helped you, feel free to donate, links above. And if you'd like to make an appointment, it's angelicsupportagent.net. It's $95 1 hour video messenger session. I do healing and channeling. Tell you what you need to do next. Clear up the heaviness around you. Remove energy. Like that. Remember the law of equal energetic exchange. It's a universal law. There's 105. And I absolutely adore you, Kelly, for donating, because it does help me on this. That's my shameless plug again. And, yeah, So this is my live, and as Jared said, totally worth it. Get a reading and healing, do it. And yeah, that's it. I'm done. I'll be back soon. I promised I would do a Sophia channeling. I'm working on it. I know it's not shameless. I kept thinking that as I said it. But I'm going to do it. I'm preparing myself to actually channel the goddess Sophia for like at least 20 minutes if I can. It's going to be a hard one. But I can do it. I know I can. So, channel an energy, I can channel her vocally. So, she is the female embodiment of the Christ consciousness. So, I could do it right now, but no, too much energy is going on right now. So, preparing. It'll be in the next week or two, I feel. Or month, I hear. Just depending on when Thomas wants to do it. See, I'm channeling just like all of you can do. Anyways, thank you all for watching. My name's Thomas Sawyer. Signing off. Peace out. Bye-bye.